Yep, you know what time it is, man. This is, of course, your favorite channel, man, CTB. It's your Chin Tuck Boxing. I'm, of course, your boy, Jay Slay. So what up to him, man?
What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in.
You tune into a segment we call here, Chin Check. That's when we rock you guys' chin with boxing news, boxing information, boxing rumors, and most definitely put some money in you guys' pockets by giving you the odds of some fights. But with that being said, we want to talk about the young lion, man, the young can-comer, and who the young lion going to fight next, man. He's been called out. Finally, somebody actually said they want to fight the man. Somebody young, Bruce Ennis, man. Somebody at the welterweight division finally said that, yeah, I'll fight him. I'll fight him. And this is a guy that I actually believe. I actually believe he would actually fight him because this guy fights everybody, and he fights everybody usually pretty decently. Not his last performance was kind of wasn't that great, but he was fighting somebody by the name of Errol Spence. So of course it's kind of hard to look good against somebody like Errol Spence. I'm talking about Ugas, man. Ugas has said that he would put the gloves on and step in the ring with Jerron Bruce Ennis. Coming off what Keith Thurman said about Bruce Ennis, he kind of said he'll fight him, but kind of said he won't fight him. You know, it's kind of wishy-washy with Keith Thurman. It's kind of refreshing to hear somebody who actually called out the young lion and actually tried to put the young lion in his place and tell him that, yeah, I put you in your place. I get in the ring with you. What do you think about that? Do you think Ugas really mean what he's saying, or you think he just trying to use that for clout to get back in the spotlight a little bit?
I think he mean what he's saying. Like, a lot of times you get a boxer that's been in the game, they do name drop to try to keep their name in the spotlight. But with Ugas, man, Keith Thurman, I was saying, I didn't want to say his name. But Ugas, pretty much everything he say, man, he down for it, man. Like I said, he seemed to be one of those guys, man, that he a warrior, man. He want to fight, he love to fight. As long as he getting paid good, you know what I mean? And I think he deserve a decent payday if he's gonna get in the ring with Boots. But I think Boots needs that opponent, man. He needs to show people that he's ready for the Terrence Crawfords and the Errol Spence of the world. And the only way he can prove that probably is by fighting the Ugas. And I think that fight would be a huge fight. I think it's an interesting fight. I think that'll be the first time where at some point of the fight, I think Boots will be tested. You know, I don't think nobody in front of him has even pushed him. And I'm curious when he's pushed, what's going to happen. So I'm excited about it, man. I hope that PBC is listening and already behind closed doors trying to make those calls and get in contact with both of those camps and make that fight. Damn, put it on the undercard of Spence and Crawford if you want to. I'll give you $125, $150 to make that happen, damn. So, hey, I'm all for it.
I don't know if we're gonna be ready that fast though. He did just have eye surgery though, so I don't think he'll be ready in October to fight. I mean, November to fight Boots.
He got cleared. I would say that, but like you said, he just got cleared and he ain't been getting hit. So
yeah, that's true. I'm with you, man. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think Ugas fights everybody, man. And like I said in the intro, he fights everybody to usually a competitive fight. I think he'll do for Boots Ennis kind of similar to what, if I could throw somebody out there, maybe like a Lamont Peterson did for Errol Spence. Lamont Peterson was a veteran. He was known to be rugged and rough. And even though everybody knew that Lamont Peterson had nothing for Earl, it was still, you know what I'm saying, a good gauge on where Earl was at. I think that will be kind of similar to what Ugas will be. I don't want to say Ugas is done. I think he still has something in the gas tank a little bit, but he is up there in age, man. He is from Cuba, so we never know his real age. That's the stigma for most Cuban fighters. You never know their real age. But he slowed down his last two fights. I'm gonna be honest, his last two fights, he slowed down considerably. If you consider how he looked against Sean Porter, and then compare that to the Manny Pacquiao Errol Spence fight, he slowed down considerably. Like it's a big difference. Even when he fought, was it Brandon Figueroa? Was it Brandon or Omar? It's one of the two brothers.
Omar.
Even when he fought Omar, he looked great in that fight. But we later seen Omar. He was a wounded warrior at that point. But Ugas, man, you think he's probably this gonna be his last hurrah? He knows this is his last hurrah, so he's just looking for the biggest payday to make a good last hurrah. And if that's the case, you think Boots Ennis is the right person, or you think he should be reaching out for a Keith Thurman fight instead?
If he can get any fight he wants, I would say get the Keith Thurman fight, because I think that's the more competitive fight for him. And I also think that's the fight that'll get him a little bit more money. And I understand at this point in his career, he's trying to get the most money he can get. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a business where you get hit in the head and you try to secure your future for your family and for your kids. So I understand that. But if he can't get the Keith Thurman fight, I think the Boots Ennis fight will be a great fight for him because it'll be on the big stage again, and I think he also get paid. And he might be. Yeah, I believe he think he can win, and he know that people talking about the way people talk about Boots Ennis. So if he beats Boots or Keith Thurman, that puts him right back in the sweet states as one of the top guys at 147. I say for Boots Ennis, like going off of what you said, to piggyback on what you said, I like the Lamont Peterson comparison because, like you said, I don't think Ugas can beat him, but this will be the first guy that when he hit him, he gonna turn around and the motherfucker still gonna be there. Like I said, like everybody hitting there, they dropping like flies. Soon as he hit him good, they just down. Like the last guy here, he just fell out. When he hit Ugas flush, he's still gonna be in his face, and it's gonna be like shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be different, but he gonna rise to the occasion. But it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different. When you hit him with certain shots you hitting these other guys with, he gonna eat them a little bit better. He gonna foul back, and he gonna realize when you get to that top notch competition, you gotta chip away at guys. You just can't hit them with one or two combinations, they fall out. You gotta really break guys down when you get to that elite level.
I'm sitting here, I'm trying to put my promoter hat on for a minute. I'm trying to put myself in Al Heyman's shoes and see which one would be the better fit for my promotional company though. Would I want the young lion to go in here and put the young bull out the pasture and Keith Thurman, not Keith Thurman, but in Ugas, because they will of course put Boots Ennis in a different stratosphere, especially like you say they put him on the big card. If you put him on the big card, say if you can't make the Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford card, you got another card in December is gonna be just as big in the Tank Davis versus possibly Garcia fight. So you can put him on that card possibly. That'd be a great fight, and like I said, it'd be a great gauge for Boots, and then you can pretty much take him off that fight, and then try to see how Boots Ennis do on pay-per-view with another big fight, like somebody like Keith Thurman. And if you keep Thurman, you will wait for that because you know that's a good chance of you getting the spotlight. Plus, Keith Thurman's pay-per-view numbers from his last fight wasn't that great when he fought Barrios. He think it was barely 30,000 views or some shit like that, barely 30K.
Bad.
It was bad. So if you keep Thurman, you're not gonna be on pay-per-view. Like I said, I got my Al Heyman cap on. I'm not gonna put you back in another pay-per-view against another guy like that. And I know for a fact that I can't make a good pay-per-view with you headlining against Boots on your own. So, like you said, the best game plan for me, I think, if I'm Al Heyman, would be to put Boots in with Ugas on a big card, and then let that be Keith Thurman's next pay-per-view fight. If in chance he can't get the winner of Spence Crawford, because they're rumored to have a rematch clause, a bilateral rematch clause, so they'd be tied up for a while. So if you Al Heyman, that's probably your best move.
You know what? I totally agree with you on that when that makes perfect sense. Like you said, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence will be tied up for 2 fights. And like you said, you can make it a round robin. Like I said, you pick Ugas and Boots in there, and the winner fight Keith Thurman. But Keith Thurman has to agree to it, of course. I think Keith Thurman would agree to a Ugas fight because he think that, Ugas is a veteran. He think he's more beatable. It can be a pay-per-view fight. Boots, I think he'll be shaking with it. He'll try to find a way to get around it. But if he can get Keith Thurman to agree on the winner of that fight, I think whoever wins that fight, it does become a pay-per-view fight, in my opinion. Some people outside of CTB may not agree, but I think Ugas has been on pay-per-view twice. He's a well-known fighter now at this stage. Keith Thurman still has a name, so you pick 2 guys with a name that's marketable, then you can get decent numbers. And for Boots, this is what can catapult his career. He beats Ugas, which is Errol Spence's last opponent, which is a guy that fought Sean Porter. And if he beats that guy and beats him just as conventionally or even worse, all of a sudden people are talking about Boots is one of the best fighters in the world. And then you throw him on a pay-per-view event in front of the world on Keith Thurman. And like I said, Keith Thurman won his paycheck to retire. And I said it. He just wanted to retire. He wanted his big paycheck. You give him this paycheck, his retirement check, and you let that catapult your rising star and Boots Ennis to the next level for the future of your company.
The only thing that I say can get away with that because in December the Tank Davis versus Garcia fight, if that fight happens, I don't think it's gonna happen. But if that fight is the fight that happens in December, there'll be a cross promotion with Golden Boy. So would Golden Boy then want to have 2 cross promotion fights? Because if that's the case, then you could put Boots Ennis in there with Ortiz. There'd be 2 young lion versus young lion. But yeah, I don't like. I really, it's not gonna happen. De La Hoya not gonna let that happen.
That's all he got. That's all he got.
Yeah, De La Hoya he's not gonna have 2 ills in one night because we all know what's gonna happen with Garcia.
Yeah, we know what's gonna happen with him. But other than Garcia, his only golden nugget is Ortiz, and he's not gonna cash that in until he can get the most he can get out of it. So that's not gonna happen anytime soon. He act like he can make the fight.
I'll say again.
He act like he want to make the fight. He'll say he's trying to make the fight, but it won't get made.
So, all right, my last question. Say it does happen. Say if Ugas does fight Boots Ennis, that takes a opponent away from Keith Thurman. So Keith Thurman, who said he's not a gatekeeper. He's not a gatekeeper, son. This is not he's not fast food. He's a 4-course meal, blase blase. Who do he fight? Because everybody else in the welterweight division are pretty much people who looking for that gatekeeper. They're looking for that fighter to put them in the spotlight. You got the Conor Benns of the world, who has a fight coming up soon with Eubanks. You have Stanley Jonas, who actually looking for like I said, he's pretty much looking for a gatekeeper the same way. Everybody who is worth Keith Thurman fighting is that level. They're looking for a Keith Thurman type. You know what I'm saying? That's their way in. Who do you pick if you Keith Thurman?
Stanley Jonas. I think that's the best fight for him right now. He is it'll put him right back in the spot for being mandatory. And I think Stanley Jonas wants to prove that he's worthy of being up there with some of those guys. And I think that'd be a good fight for him.
It's a dangerous fight, though. Stanley Jonas is a devastating body.
It's a dangerous fight, but at this point, Keith Thurman is so set on getting paid a certain amount of money, I believe. He just can't fight anybody and get the paycheck he wants. I think with Stanley Jonas, he can still get paid good. He might get a $2.5 million paycheck to fight him, and it still puts him in position to get those bigger fights. So I think that's the best fight for him. And he's on PBC, Stanley Jonas. So I think that's the most realistic fight. If it weren't for that fight, and if the guy was still fighting and he didn't lose, I think somebody like a Mikey Garcia would have been a great fight for him because he just won a name. So he would have grabbed a guy like Mikey Garcia, a recycle fighter that we know at the end of his career, but got a name, got a Mexican fan base that he can make a good paycheck on that he thought he could beat. But other than that, like you said, Conor Benn is locked up. Spence is locked up. Crawford is locked up. Boots, he don't want no part of. Ortiz is not going to happen with Golden Boy. So,
who at 140 in PBC that he can pull up? Because you know he just pulled Barrio up from 140. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he pulled him out 140.
Gary Russell?
That's too small. He's too small.
Gary
Antoine. Oh, Gary Antoine.
Gary Antoine works at 140. He's at PBC, and he can't hear Moth. He said he claimed he beat Boots Ennis, so that could be his. I mean, I'm not throwing him in 147 yet, but like I said, man, when it comes to money, guys come up. So like you said, he may want to stay at 140, but when a guy like Keith Thurman's calling your name, like I said, I think some of them guys at 140 see him as food too. Especially after what Mario Barrios did with him and how he fought with him, it had him hurt. So if I'm Gary Russell, I'm looking at it like if one call almost got you out there, shit. Why I might go up there and try you. So that would be a good fight. I think that'd be interesting.
I think Keith Thurman in an interesting spot. I think his least dangerous fight is probably his highest paying fight. Because in my opinion, Ugas is probably his least dangerous. Ugas is not known as a devastating puncher.
Yeah.
147. So his highest paying fight, other than Earl and Terrence. But his next level highest paying fight is probably his least dangerous because Boots Ennis is dangerous. Stanley Jonas is a devastating body puncher. He's dangerous. Ortiz, he's with Golden Boy, but he's also dangerous. Conor Benn is also dangerous. Yeah. So if you Keith Thurman, man, you in a weird spot. Even though he say he's not a gatekeeper, I see why he say he's not a gatekeeper because they all are dangerous fights, bro. But you got anything else to add to this topic?
I think we covered it all. I'm pretty sure we probably should get an announcement soon, honestly. If I had to predict, I think Thurman or Ugas, one of those guys probably going to have some kind of fight announcement within the next 4 to 5 weeks, I would think.
Yeah, I would think so. Hopefully it's around the Wilder fight card time. Maybe somewhere around there where they can get some publicity off the fight, the announcement of it. But yeah, with that being said, man, this is of course your favorite channel, man, CTB. Just Chance Up Boxing. I'm of course your boy Jay Slay. Say peace to him, man.
All right, everybody, please hit the sub button if you like what you're listening to, man. We're going to bring you all kind of content when it comes to boxing. Also, like, notification bell, and comment. You know why? Because we love boxing and you love boxing. But most of all, God, peace, and love, and we out of here. Take care.